All right, so what I got going on here today, I wanted to show you guys a comparison of some welding blankets. I do a lot of welding on cars, trucks, tractors. I do some restoration work. So pretty much use a welding blanket on everything. I've had a carbon felt welding blanket probably for 10 years, a couple of them. And it just got to the point where I needed new ones. I kind of thought they were all the same. I did a little research and it looked like you wanted a pre-oxidized carbon felt blanket. The pre-oxidation makes them more resistant to heat and to flame. So I did like what everybody else does. I just went on Amazon and kind of looked at the top 10 with good reviews and basically just picked my size and my thickness, and I thought I'd be good with it. Well, I was wrong. Not all carbon felt welding blankets are the same. So my old one has a layer of fiberglass mesh in the center of it, and it's been just great. It's held up great. Well, it's held up for almost 10 years now. I thought they were all that way, and I was wrong. So the one on the left there, I bought that one off Amazon. I'm not gonna say what brand, but it was one of the top ones. So I bought that one thinking it would do what I needed it to do. I used it on a couple of jobs and it's just not cutting it. It breaks apart too easy, it burns through too easy. I'm just not happy with it. So I started looking some more to find a 3-layer one like the last one I had, and I found this one on the right, this HFP 3-layer. And there it is. I'll leave a link at the bottom for it. Bought it off Amazon. It's exactly like my old blanket, except for this one's thicker. This one's 5 millimeters thick, and my last one was only 2.5 millimeters thick. I got it here on the right. I've used it on quite a few jobs, and I'm happy with it. It seems to hold up good. It's a little thicker than my old one, and I'm pretty darn happy with it. So I'll show you my old one. So this here is my old one. As you can see, it's been used and abused, but you can see that fiberglass mesh in the center of it, and it just seems to hold together really well. All the burn throughs, it's because I just got way too close or hit it with the torch or hit it with the grinder, just abusing it. So the standard one, like on the left there, that's a pre-oxidized carbon felt welding blanket. You can get them in all kinds of different sizes, different thicknesses. That one there is a 60 by 72 inch, and it is 6 millimeters thick. I kind of, I wanted something thicker than my last one, and a lot of the people made it sound like you wanted to go 6 millimeters thick. And I definitely, if you go with the standard carbon felt blanket, you don't want to go with anything thinner than that because it just burned through instantly. So I'm going to show you that one. I got a cutout of it here. And so there it is. And there we go. So it's maybe a little thicker than 6.2. And then the 3-layer is 5 millimeters thick. So there we are, the 3-layer one. And then you can see that center layer of fiberglass mesh. And then what I like about this one, it actually has a weld side. So you can see where one side of the carbon felt is actually thicker. And what that's for is so you can have a top side that you weld on and it has a thicker layer of protection, and then you always have a back side that's clean. And it does come with a label on it that tells you which side to weld on. So I like that, so I can always have a clean side. Makes it nice so I can keep all of my grindings and weld slag on one side. Now I'm going to show you what they look like. So as you can see, they're about the same size, same height and width, except for they do not weigh the same. The standard one states that it weighs 3.5 pounds. Get it on there, right? There we go. So we're right there at 3.5 pounds. 3.4, close enough. And the 3-layer one that looks to be the same size, and they are pretty much the same dimensions, it is 5.7 pounds. So 2 blankets, this one's 60 by 70 inches, this one's 60 by 72. This one is way more dense. It's almost twice as heavy, and you can feel it. You can feel the denseness. And the standard one, the best way to explain it is it's fluffy, like a blanket you would have at home. The dense part, it seems like, since it's denser, it seems to handle better against the weld splatter and the slag and the heat. What they do is they basically take a thick layer, and to get that fiberglass mesh in there, they have to basically smash the carbon felt into the fiberglass. So you're starting off with a blanket that's probably twice as thick, and they're smashing it down, and it just works great. So we'll move on from this, and I'll get showing you the good stuff. We're going to start off by doing a torch test. And what I did is I put paper down underneath the carbon felt. That way you guys can see what burns through and what doesn't burn through. And we'll go ahead and hit it with the torch for about 15 seconds. Now these blankets are only rated for 1800 degrees Fahrenheit. That's what most welding blankets are. Your torches are going to be, 3,000, 3,400 degrees. So we're going to push it. So as you can see there, the standard carbon felt welding blanket is already starting to burn the paper. On the right with the HFP 3-layer, you're starting to see where it's kind of starting to warm up. You got a little bit of moisture there, and we'll come back and look at it here in just a little bit, and that spot will pretty much be gone. So now we're going to move on to hitting it with the plasma cutter. And what we got going on here, I got some 3/16 steel, And we're gonna lift it off the blanket just a little bit because that torch, I don't know how hot they get, but it's a lot more than 1800 degrees. And get you guys a closer look at that. And then I'll roll it over and you can see how much burn through we got. So right there you can see that the standard one, it doesn't hold up good at all. I mean, we got some major burn through. Over here on the 3-layer, I mean, we got some burn through, but it's not crazy. So on the standard one, I'll get you a closer look. I mean, it's definitely burnt through. On the 3-layer one, it did pretty darn good, especially for as close as we had that darn torch. So I'm not gonna try to do any kind of nice welding. I'm actually gonna try to do some crappy welding. That way it spits and spatters and throws slag everywhere. And you can really see what the blankets can and cannot handle. All right, if you got a headset on, turn it off right now because this is gonna pop and crack. All right, I wanted to do that so we can get some good pieces down here so you can start to see how those nasty pieces of slag melt in. So hopefully I did a bad enough weld job for you guys. So here's on the standard side. You can see, oh, we got some spots there. some over here, some right there, where it really melts in. You know, it just not dense, so it doesn't hold it back. So here's the 3 layer, and even here we got a big old piece of slag. It just doesn't melt in as much as the standard one. You know, because of how dense it is, it can just absorb that heat. Right there where I showed you where those 2 pieces of slag really melted in, it really started to burn the paper in a couple different spots. And then on the 3 layer side, best I can see, we got one little spot here, but I think that came in from the gap in between there. I'll show you guys closer. So there's the standard side. I mean, it burned through pretty good, hit that paper. And here's the 3 layer side. Best I can see is one little spot right there, which I think was a piece that bounced in between the 2 blankets. This is another thing I do not like about the standard blankets. As you can see, right here, where the heavy grinding is, it just starts melting in. And it just starts burning away that carbon felt. The 3 layer one, it still melts in, but it's not near as bad. I mean, this right here, even if we grind on the same spot, is gonna last longer than the standard one. Both of them did pretty good with the grinding. I don't see any burn throughs on the standard side, and I don't see any burn throughs on the 3 layer. Now I'm gonna show you guys what these blankets look like when we push them way too far. And we're gonna do that by torching them for about 30 seconds each. And it should pretty much destroy the blanket. 30 seconds on each side, I can pretty much guarantee we got burnt paper. So there we go with the standard. And there we go with the 3-layer. Now they both burnt the paper, but you can see the 3-layer didn't burn near as bad as the standard. So here's our standard blanket at 6 millimeters thick. And here is our 3-layer. Now I think we can all agree that the 3-layer does a better job. Now does the standard do an okay job? Yeah, it's okay. Until you see this. And this is what I absolutely cannot stand about a standard one. It looks good, except for it breaks apart. So I can't reuse this darn thing. It's a one and done. I mean, look at that. Once you exceed its limits, there's nothing left of it. Even this one, right here where we only burned on it for 15 seconds, it might last one more shot. That's it. Go over here to where we ground. I'll have to get on the other side so I can hold it straight. It still lasts a little bit longer, but we're already halfway burned through that blanket there. Where we cut, it's done. Where we over torched it, it's done. Where we only hit it for 15 seconds, it might last one more shot. Now on the 3-layer, I can get it rubbed down to the fiberglass, but then it stops. And here where we just hit it with 15 seconds, it's still great. Let's see here where we hit it with the torch. You can see it's breaking that top layer up a little bit. But once I get through that very first layer, I mean, we're not even down to fiberglass mesh yet. Oh, I'm rubbing pretty hard, guys. Even over here by the grindings, it rubs a little bit off, but it doesn't take it down. It doesn't break through. Closer shot. So here's a standard one. After we push it, it's junk. I can't use this on another job. The 3-layer one, even here where we held the torch for 30 seconds straight and just destroyed that top layer, I still got a layer of fiberglass. And it still hasn't melted through my backside yet. Now here's where we hit it with the plasma cutter. Yeah, it's ate through it pretty good, but we got one spot there, one spot there where you can start to see the fiberglass mesh, but no holes. You know, there's the back side of that one. Here's what's left of your standard one. So as you can see, I'm not very happy with the standard ones. That 3-layer fiberglass one, I'm very happy with it. So if you're looking for a carbon felt welding blanket, I hope this helps you. Thank you.